Welcome back to the show. And if you've just joined us, you've missed out on a very interesting topic, speaking to Mbali Blose about giving back through blood donations. And I mean, that's a very serious topic about saving lives every single minute of the day. So if you missed out on that, go back to our podcast later, take a look at it, and of course, do join her in making those differences. Today, it's all about bridging those gaps and changing people's lives. And one of them that's really been bridging the gap is Genevieve Ally. And let me just tell you a little bit about Genevieve. Genevieve has decided that, we're paying a lot of attention, which there's nothing wrong with that, with the girl child. There's been a lot of attention, focus, education with regard to the girl child. But what about the boys? I mean, the thing is, we do know at some point in their lives when they grow up, they become the breadwinners. They are the strengths and the pillars of the families. And why not pay attention to inculcating all those values and changing their lives for the better from now so that those inculcated values stick with them right through their age where they start actually becoming a parent, a husband, the breadwinner, and of course, the spinal cord in the family. So, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining me on the show, Genevieve.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a It's such a pleasure having you on the show this morning to be able to discuss a topic which I think really needs to be paid attention to.
Definitely.
Genevieve, we're going to try you again. The line seems to be quite bad. We seem to be breaking up. Let's just try that again. We're just going to go for a quick 1 second break and see if we can try again just to get you back on the line with a better signal.
Okay.
لأجاريهم قلدت ظاهر ما فيهم فبدوت شخصا آخر كي أتفاخر وظننت أنا أني بذلك حزت غنى فوجدت أني خاسر فتلك مظاهر لا 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 نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا جوهرنا هنا في القلب تلا لا 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 نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا ذاك جمالنا يسمو يتعالى
It's not like something that we can do it's like, when the person is going on that stage, it's making us completely. So maybe we need to ask Shalilo.
كن أنت تزداد جمالا لا 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 أتقبلهم الناس لست أقلدهم إلا بما يرضيني كي أرضيني سأكون أنا مثلي تماما هذا أنا فقناعتي تكفيني ذاك يقيني لا 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 نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا جوهرنا هنا في القلب تلالا نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا ذاك جمالنا يسمو يتعالى كن أنت تزداد جمالا سأكون أنا من أرضى أنا لن أسعى لا لرضاهم وأكون أنا ما أهوى أنا مالي وما لرضاهم سأكون أنا من أرضى أنا لن أسعى لا لرضاهم وأكون أنا ما هو أنا لن أرضى أنا برضاهم لا لا نحتاج المال كي نزداد جمالا جوهرنا هنا في القلب لا 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 نرضي الناس بما لا نرضاه لنا حالا ذاك جمالنا يسمو
يسمو
يتعالى
يتعالى لو
كن أنت تزداد جمالا كن أنت تزداد جمالا.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world where institutions held the all important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
This Eid, many refugees will be unable to afford meat to feed their families. That's why the Al Imdad Foundation's Fresh Cut Kurbani project allows you to share your sheep with Syrian and Palestinian refugees and other needy families. Share your Kurbani for 3,650 Rand, which includes slaughter, slicing, packing and distribution under the personal supervision of the Al Imdad Foundation's team. Share your Kurbani today. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
With so many investment options today, it's only natural that you might feel a little confused which route to take. Should I buy shares or should I invest in gold bullion? Randery Jewelers now brings you the Zahab coin, an alternative to the Kruger Rand. The Zahab coin, a solid wealth protector in its purest form of 24-karat gold, is the safest way to protect your wealth. So don't just sit there and watch your paper money depreciate. Change to gold. Call Randery Jewelers now at 031 202 4701 or visit www.rjcoin.co.za, situated at 151 Essenwood Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randery Jewelers, the family
Randery
name you
Jewelers.
can trust.
Perform your Kurbani with Sansa and earn extra rewards as 15 Rand from every Kurbani will be given towards the Sansav Masjid Waqf. Africa, 750 Rand, and locally 1,980 Rand per share. Visit us at sansav.org.za or call us on 011 834 4046. Sansav, changing lives through development and relief.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda.
Welcome back to the show. And just before we went for a break, I just introduced Sister Genevieve Ally, and I was saying that a lot of attention gets given to the girl child, which we say there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens inevitably, as I was saying earlier, is that the boy child goes out and definitely becomes the breadwinner at some point in their lives. Of course, the spinal cord for the family. And this is what she is determined is to bridge that particular gap and educate them and take them out of the situations they're in. So a very warm welcome to you on the show, Genevieve. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think it's an absolute pleasure. We want to really welcome you because we look at what you're doing, and I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Starting up your Build Our Boyz Foundation in Eldorado Park. And as we know, Eldorado Park is a tough neighborhood. There's a lot going on in there. Paint the picture for us, because I think a lot of people don't understand Eldorado Park itself and the types of things that the boy child actually encounters there.
Okay, so Eldorado Park is a community south of Johannesburg,
Hmm.
and there is a lot of organizations, as you mentioned, that focus, put their focus on that of the girl child. But then what about the boy children? What about the young men? And I have I've come across many situations where they've forgotten, they're not given the necessary attention that they need. And that I've seen in my community, and I have tried with the help of a team that's assisting me to bridge
Mm.
the gap, and I give the education and areas to the boy child as much as that's given to that of a girl child. Like, when it comes
Mm.
to the community that I'm from, which is Eldorado Park, which you look at the statistics, if you look at the numbers, like the chances of a
Mm.
boy child dropping out of school is so much higher of that
Mm.
of a girl child.
Yeah, and
Some,
as we know, Genevieve, I mean, there's so many negative elements happening in the area, like
exactly,
drugs
exactly,
and crime, and you find these young
exactly.
people actually don't know where they belong, and this is where you come in to give them direction, because they think that the norm and the belonging belongs to the gangsterism, the drugs, the negative elements, not realizing that that is not the norm of life. So I love the idea of you creating this Build Our Boys Foundation, because I think what it does is it bridges the gap and teaches them to understand that that is not the norm of life and that is not the way things are done, and that they can change their lives for the better, and that they can be spinal cords in their families. Because, as we know, I know the area of El Dorado Park. And, sometimes when I drive through there, I look at the things, and you sometimes you watch it on television as well, to say, my word, there's a lot of negativity going on, and it's nice to see that a female presence has come in to be able to change that element into the positive as opposed to the negative.
That's true. Um, to give attention to the boy child so that they know that the end game shouldn't be just that a life of crime or a life of not being successful, so that they know that there's people that care, there's people that take interest in their lives, that want to see them succeed. They, just for them to know that we are and we care, and we want to see them succeed in life and to become something in life.
Mm. And it couldn't have come at a better time, because, as we know, there was that young boy that was, shot inevitably a while ago, by police thinking he was a gangster, and the whole situation erupted there in El Dorado Park. So I think, with you coming into play with Build Our Boys Foundation, it's more about educating them as well, that, these elements need to change, and you can change your community around. So you're literally, that spark to go out there in El Dorado Park to be able to, I think, make parents also understand, not just the young people, that their boys can be their spinal cords at some point, and that they can turn themselves, around and be something, at the end of the
And
day.
become something good in life. And
Yes.
our main goal is to motivate them, as to equip them for the future, as to equip them for the world, because they're not gonna remain young boys or young men forever. They're gonna
Mm,
grow up and become fathers. They're gonna grow up and become husbands, and we wanna equip them with the necessary tools. Like,
mm.
we wanna inspire them. We wanna show them that there's so much more to life than that what we see around them.
Yes, most definitely. And I like your idea of sport, because sport takes kids out of so many different negative elements and puts them into the positives. And of course, changes their mindset because it gets their endorphins going. They start thinking positively. They start learning to work as a team, building each other up. And I think soccer is just one of those things that does it. It gets their communication levels going as well. So, talk to us about that. I mean, we know Ra'is Rubij as one of the beneficiaries of your program. Talk to us a little bit about his story.
Absolutely.
I want our viewers to understand, should we say, the essence of what you're doing.
Okay, so majority of the boys within the foundation are soccer players, and they found an interest in soccer, and it's taken the attention of all the negative that goes on around them. It's,
Mm,
it's given them hope that there's 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 life outside of Eldorado Park. There's a better future if
mm,
you concentrate on something, if you put in the work, if you put it in the hard work. If we should mention the one of the boys, Raiz Rubich,
mm,
he before the foundation was founded, before I started the foundation, he had gone on trials for in Cape Town because
mhm,
he was such a good soccer player. And unfortunately, because he comes from like a disadvantaged background, like where he doesn't come from a family of money.
mm,
We had to raise funds, we had to have fundraisers. But in the end, we succeeded in getting the necessary funds to get Raiz to Cape Town for the trial, and it was a success. And then
mm,
Raiz and his brothers, they such examples to the boys
mm.
in the community. Like when they do this, they practicing for soccer and stuff. The boys will join in because it's something that they make it fun, and they make it exciting, and they make it interesting, and the interaction with the boys, and it's
Yes.
just such a motivation.
And, I
Yeah,
think Ra'is will also be one of your role models, your proteges, to say that, he can turn his life around through this particular foundation that you've started. And he's starting to, should we say, attain and achieve his life goals and his dreams just through the foundation and with your support. And so can the other boys too. So it's nice to see that you're doing this together through a soccer game because, as I said earlier, it's not just about one person's dream. All these other boys are also learning to be support structures for Ra'is, realizing that he
exactly,
has this potential, but realizing their own potentials in the same instance to say that, Ra'is
exactly.
is changing his life around through you, and so can they.
He's such, he's really, um, he's been a very positive influence on the boys. And when it comes to soccer practice and stuff, if I could perhaps just give you a background on how okay, obviously we have the fundraiser, and we had Reese going for trials in Cape Town and stuff. But then at
Mm,
that point in time, I had not founded the foundation.
mhm,
So the boys they joined a soccer club. They would go for practice each day. I'm a mother of two boys myself, and my one son, the one that came from practice, and told me, Mom, there was actually other boys making fun of another boy because he had a bad odor.
mm,
And it touched me as a mother,
mm,
especially when it comes to bullying. I absolutely, I'm very on thing. And
mm,
I did what I did. I managed to few hygiene products together. I I got in contact with the coach. I sent the hygiene products of my son, and
mhm,
my son discreetly gave it to the coach, and gave it to this boy. If I tell you the coach contacted me and informed me that this boy actually came back to the coach and informed the coach that he did not have a toothbrush.
Mm.
You know,
Sure.
just it broke me. It's like, as a mother, you you can't. It's not the child's responsibility to see
Mm,
that
mm,
he has toothpaste, to see that he has roll on, to see that he has soap. It's the responsibility of us as the parents. But then if the parents fail, then
mm,
obviously as myself as the mother, I
mm.
should also be able to lend a hand. And that is how I found that was my inspiration behind the entire foundation. That is what inspired me. If I tell you to this day, I've not met
Mm,
this boy. That
mm,
inspired me to found the foundation.
mm.
Um, he doesn't know me, I don't know him. But then we give hygiene products now on a monthly basis to boys. He also needs that he sort of doesn't know where it comes from. He's under the impression that, coach gives me hygiene products on a monthly.
Right.
So that
I think you're
boy,
doing some
really,
phenomenal work there, Genevieve. This is what it's about. It's also getting the parents involved. And I think through your foundation, as I'm going to say again, the Build Our Boys Foundation, um, I think you're making the parents also realize that lives can be turned around through this foundation, and you're giving them a second chance at life, and that's what it's all about. Because, as we know, as I said earlier, I do know the and understand the situations and the negativities and the elements that are happening in El Dorado Park, but yet you've taken the effort to say that we're not going to just leave it and let it be, but rather turn it around for the better. And I think we need to commend you
exactly.
on that.
Thank you so much. It means so much to me. And
Um,
obviously, if you wanna see change, you can't sit and say, I want to see change, I want to see change, I want to see change. You need
yeah,
actually act on something in order for
definitely.
change to happen. And that is what I've done. I've
Yeah.
I have left procrastination behind. I've stood up and I said no more. And I would like to be the difference that I would like to see, and that is also bridging the gap when it comes to that of the boy child and that of the girl child. Where so much attention is given on, given to the girl child, and like the boy child is unfortunately not getting as much attention as they need, because they also need to be motivated. They
Most
also need,
definitely.
like, the stuff that gets done for the girl children, the boys need it as well.
Yes. Genevieve,
And
how
that's
do
what
people
I
get a
think
hold of you
is
to be
good.
able to support you with your project?
I can be contacted on the foundation. We can be contacted actually on contact out. My contact number is 074 double
Mhm.
five double five 414. We also have a Facebook page which is called Build Our Boys Foundation,
Mhm.
and that is two of the ways that I can be contacted, or the
Okay.
foundation can be contacted.
I want to thank you for joining us this morning to be able to just shed some light and bridging that gap. And I think that's where you've determined it that r- people that are in these types of suburbs and are facing these negative elements can follow suit in what you are doing and change these boys' lives for the better. So that, as I said earlier, and I'm going to say it again, can then become the spinal cords in their communities by changing
In the
lives around. And I think
community,
Raiz is going to be one of them, where he's, going
almost
to go out there, come back into El Dorado Park, and of course, entice the other boys to say, I've done it, so can you. And I think through you as well, we need to congratulate you thus far on what you've done by bridging this gap, because you've definitely shed a light on a very important situation that I think many of us have not paid attention to. And as you said, I think sometimes it goes unnoticed until someone realizes that bridge needs to be built, that gap needs to be filled. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for joining us today on a phenomenal aspect. What words would you like to leave us with today?
thank you kindly for having me. And then I would just like to There's a motto I go with when I founded the foundation. So this is really as a person and to be by yourself. The motto that I go with is I think it's the weekend. That's the
Mm,
only way that we be able to manage the change that needs to be made. Is
mm.
by joining hands and standing together, standing united, and doing it together and making the change that needs to be made
Thank you
and
so
setting the
much.
change so that they can be the future leaders that we so desperately need. Future
Most
fathers, future
definitely.
husbands.
I so
Yes,
agree
yes,
with you there. They are definitely our future leaders, and you are definitely molding them into that. So, congratulations once again from myself and the team. You have our endless support, and we want to thank
thank
you
you
and we
so,
wish you
so
nothing
much.
but all the success going forward. Thank you so much and have
Thank
a
you
lovely,
kindly.
blessed one.
Yourself as well. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank
Take
you
care.
for
Bye
having
bye.
me. Thanks. Bye-bye.
That was Sister Genevieve Ali giving us her take on Build Our Boys Foundation, and that's what it's about: is learning to bridge those gaps. But at the end of the day, I think her long-term vision is let us bring up these young boys into beautiful young men that will become the spinal cords of their communities in many directions, to be able to change those communities and change those negative elements in those communities to nothing but the positive. Stick with us. We're going to be discussing a really, should we say, phenomenal giving after the break.